84th and Van Dorn.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 and its plans. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Spring is here, and Acres is offering special financing on select new John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers. Visit your nearest Acres store and test drive all the latest John Deere turf equipment and attachments. And for a limited time, with the purchase of a new John Deere mower, get up to $200 to apply to the steel power tool of your choice. From trimmers to chainsaws, gas or electric, Acres is your home for steel products and service. Offer expires April 30, 2024. Subject to approved credit by John Deere Financial.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nobody goes to McDonald's more than you. Nobody.
No,
every meal,
I
every call. I mean,
Don't go
every meal.
Every morning you're there.
Every morning goes to
Every
McDonald's
single
every day.
I do it. Oh, I go every day.
Is it?
Yeah,
How many
that's what I
times?
mean. That's a lot.
How many? Sometimes
I'm
twice
saying
a
in
day.
the next year I go 9 times. I
That's
go
high
9.
for me. I'm not going 9
Oh,
times
I mean
to
7
McDonald's.
times
Yeah.
a week. 7
Yeah.
times a week.
That's what I mean.
Yes,
But there's a lot of
every
times
day.
though you go more than once a day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm telling you. So it's
But I just
500.
get coffee.
But you go 500 times a year. That's a lot. Of times a year. The most I'm at is 9. I'm at 9. Jake's at 4, and you're at 500.
I say 4 to 5 for myself.
So I said 9. You said
Put
500.
it that way.
It is. Just do the math.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. On the block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come, Strick, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
You
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right. Welcome in, Fitness Fanatics. It is Sunday, April 28th. I am back in the studio after my 2-weekend hiatus.
Harrison didn't have to do the intro this morning. That was
She wasn't down to do the intros, even though she's, how long is the show? 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
2
that
years.
part stresses me out. That's all.
And then she
Okay.
botched our endorsement.
Only the first time.
Yeah, it is kind of funny.
Sponsor.
gives you a hard time for those things, and when she's here by herself.
I know.
So,
Only human.
But she held camp down.
she did.
Yes.
It was a good show when you missed it. The last one in particular was
It was.
I
agree.
Lexi came
Yep.
in there. It was good.
I heard they were just the two
That
best
one,
shows that like I should
Shut
just
up.
not even be back.
You
The
did
numbers
actually
were off the
listen to that
charts.
one.
I
Yeah.
did listen to that one,
Yeah.
on my way home from Kansas City. So that was a fun trip. Before we get into our show here, do want to give a shout out to our sponsor. Fitness Fanatics is sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, weekends. If you're interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to them. Appreciate their support of the show. So yes, I'm back. I had a couple weekends on the road. A couple weeks ago. I mean, there's been so much that's happened in the last 3 weeks.
I
It's
really
just-
feel like I should just bow out of this segment.
It's not all sports related.
We'll
I mean,
see.
you know, some of it is.
We
but
do have a guest today, Callie, but she's not going to be on until 10. So
Yeah. Yep. So we got to get caught up on a lot of stuff over the last week. So we will talk a little fitness stuff in this first hour because we did do 5-week testing yesterday and just this past week at Farrell's. So we want to talk about results, expectations, managing those expectations, interpreting your results. So we'll be talking about that here in the back half of this hour. But yes, Callie, who won the female national challenge for Farrell's last year, she has now kind of picked up running, and she just did a marathon in London.
The London Marathon.
The London Marathon. So we're going to talk to her about that. What's keeping her motivated after, maybe Mark should listen to this. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
So she'll be joining us via the stream at 10. So a lot of good info from her coming up.
Harrison's already pulling up the draft stats, so he's getting it ready.
I already know. We'll get to it.
About some of the other teams.
We'll get to it, but we got to go in chronological order. So a couple weeks ago, I went up to Green Bay. I tanked. I was terrible. Amon Green would be so disappointed in my performance. It is just shameful.
Yeah. Did you take some of the things tips you don't play against yourself? Did you let anger creep in, or what was going on? 0-3 for anyone who's curious.
Well, by the third game, I was just like, this is stupid.
Anger set in. You're playing against yourself.
Yeah, and by the third game, now my mindset shifted to like, I could just leave and go home like right now.
We could leave early.
If I win and I make the bracket, then I gotta stay and I'll be overnight. I won't get home till like 7 p.m. Sunday, and I'm just like,
that is one thing about you. If you will never pass up the opportunity to leave early from something.
Yeah, especially
if it's a drive.
I just don't want to sit there. Like when you just lose every game, like I don't want to sit there for the next 8 hours
other people
watching people celebrate.
Yeah,
and I'm in misery. And it's just stupid. Just because I was just like, I felt very good going in. I was very to win the whole thing. Maybe that's just my Husker being optimistic about the Bears and the Huskers and my Tecmo Super Bowl abilities.
Yeah.
What's the competition? Does it get better, or is it kind of like dwindling out? Because isn't it like the same people year after year? Yeah,
it's the same people. They're just better than I am. So
he's accepted it.
But I started off my first game. I played against, I try to, if I don't know the person, I talk to them. Oh, man, you've been here before, trying to get a feel of,
right.
Oh, this is my first time. First time ever being here. And I'm like, okay, so, and he beat me. Just how it is.
And wasn't he young? Too?
No, he was about my age.
Was there a youngster that beat you?
Yeah, one of the normal players brought his son.
Oh no.
With him.
Generational
he plays online
now.
too. Yeah, they're starting the next generation of Tecmo Super Bowl players. But I'm kind of over it. I'm just about ready to retire.
We talked
hang
about
up
that.
The jersey.
Well, because
maybe get your jersey hang up in here.
Well, we were just talking about that.
I was talking about maybe if DP wants, I could find my Waukee Warriors high school football jersey. It says Essink on the back.
Where that ever went.
And we could just hang it up right by Amon Green's jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be
I don't think it'd stick out at all.
I'm sure
Green
we could
Essink.
Make a commemorative
I could probably get one.
You remember what your number was? Oh yeah, you do, because
my number was,
I know.
What?
You know who it was because it's the number of some player that you liked.
Well, thanks for paying attention. My number was 14 because of Baron Miles.
I was going to guess Baron Miles. I really was.
Yep, Baron Miles. Everybody at Waukee High School said, Baron Miles. They just made this. I know you guys were talking about bullying last week on the show. Like
a little bit.
I want to be like, people, you don't have any idea what I went through.
You brought it on yourself.
Getting called Baron Miles and just
you picked his number.
We're watching Rudy and Band, and when they start in the movie, they're like Rudy. Just start saying see. I mean, that's just what I dealt with. Just a small sample size.
Bill's character.
But
look at you now.
Look at me now. Mm-hmm. I'm in a room that in the last week has had Coach Matt Rule sitting right here in this chair Amir Abdullah was in here yesterday.
Oh
Mike
man,
Rozier,
Mike
Urban
Yes.
Fryer, Amir Abdullah.
I know,
Yes.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot more.
Amir Abdullah was one of our daughter's favorite players when she really started watching Husker football, and
Yes.
we were just busy. We didn't have a chance to come down to the studio yesterday. But how cool is that? That's awesome.
Won the first Husker game for me. Never forget.
Oh.
McNeese State,
Oh,
first
yep.
Husker game I ever went to, and he
Ooh,
was the
awesome.
coolest run I've ever seen. Still the coolest I've ever seen.
And I
in
bet
person.
you were just like, oh my,
Hooked.
we're
I was
gonna lose.
Heart-
You're probably like,
Hearts in your eyes.
you're like, we're gonna lose this game.
I
know
was
it.
so scared because it's
Right.
the first game, and I was like, "How is this going to happen?" Went from being could have been a horrible day. It's one of the coolest runs in Husker history. So
Yep.
shout out to Amir Abdullah.
Yep, a
That's
big,
so cool.
big, awesome run to beat McNeese State. It was just a great thing.
I mean, hey,
Doesn't
it could
matter.
have been way worse.
Yeah.
It's
No,
impressive.
it was pretty cool.
So
It was pretty cool.
you've overcome your bullying.
Yeah,
That's
I've
what we're
overcame
saying.
that. I've overcame that.
Mhm.
So then last week was really fun. Ben and I went down to Kansas City. We saw 2 baseball games. Orioles took 2 or 3 from the Royals, and fortunately, they won the 2 that we were in attendance at.
Harrison did not know a rubber match either. We talked about that.
Yeah, rubber match is the deciding game. It's
Yeah.
1-1. It's the rubber match.
I
So,
never heard
yes.
of that until last year.
And then Ben looked. Yeah, when he looked it up
just to be sure. Oh yeah, you guys were listening. And
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
like-
oh gosh, what if I made that up? So
I
he,
just given
No, that sounded
false
right.
information.
yeah, Harrison, you
Just-
looked it up too, I think.
Yeah, I ended up
Yeah.
looking it up, but
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's like aged out or if I'm just
Maybe.
like that out of touch
It's-
with baseball.
And I don't even know.
Alright.
Maybe I said it to him before. Rubber match.
Maybe.
But that's, and you know what? We don't have a rubber match today
Yeah.
in Iowa-Nebraska baseball series because we're up 2-0 already.
Yep. Saw their bus when I was driving into work
Yeah,
this
so it
morning.
doesn't even matter.
Those guys are just ready to get out of here.
It
I'm
might-
pondering
Go.
going to that game today, thinking about it.
If the weather cooperates.
The weather cooperates. I think I'm going to take Ben and go to that baseball game.
I'm not sure. Weather. I have no idea what's going to do.
I know.
Yeah.
think it might just sprinkle. I think it should be good.
I think it's supposed to be like this all day.
I think it's like $20. So we'll probably head out there when the show's over. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
You guys have never been to a Husker baseball game.
Nope, never been. We've been to a volleyball match. We've been to a women's game, basketball, been to a men's basketball game, and we've been to a football game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, our women's basketball game is against Iowa. The
Yeah.
volleyball match
It's
is
not
against Iowa.
ironic. You did that on
This
purpose.
is on purpose,
Right.
yes,
So that's
yes.
not ironic. Purposefully.
Yes. So we're probably going to go out there. We don't have anything going on today, so that's probably what we're going to do later today. So I'll be taking in my first Husker baseball game. I really enjoyed the baseball games we went to. They're really relaxing.
Mhm.
Like I almost enjoy watching baseball more than football because probably for about 20 minutes out of the 6 hours I was watching these 2 baseball games I was like on the edge of my seat. The rest of the time was like, oh, this is nice. It's just relaxing. Where in football, as Steve Sipple says, every play you're just waiting for a disaster.
Mhm.
Like a disaster can strike at any moment in time for football game. But the baseball is just one was a really funny story on Saturday night. We were sitting out in right field, and we were the only Orioles fans out there, and the whole bunch of Royals fans behind us. And the guys came in, they had a little bit too much to drink. And one of the guys there was just he had a bet like on DraftKings or whatever you bet these
whatever
stuff on, that Salvador Perez would hit a home run in the game. So he was just Salvi, like screaming the whole time, like from right field. He can't hear him, obviously, but it was just funny. So we were kind of getting into it too. And bottom of the 6th, Salvador Perez comes up, hits a home run. The guy is just going berserk. He's like running across the rows. He has this big thing of beer, this big baseball bat full of beer. Ben and I are high-fiving. It was just awesome. And then about 2 seconds later, he's like, oh shoot, I need the Royals to win also.
I put it on a parlay.
Yeah, he had parlays. But it got pretty
Which they did not.
No, they didn't, but it was really intense because it was like bottom of the 7th. The O's were up 8-7. Their bases were loaded, full count, guy at the plate, everybody standing up, and it was just, and he took the strike looking. So Ben and I are just strike. It was awesome. It was fun. And then Sunday they won 5-0. It was it was just nice, relaxing time.
Well, you're also watching a good team too.
Yeah, and it was weird because I told Ben after the O's got out of that first game when it was tight, and you're just like, oh, base hit and this game's over.
Especially because they got up so quickly in the second inning.
Yeah, they're up 7-0, and we're just, oh, this is amazing. We're just chilling, relaxing, and then all of a sudden here they come. And they had won 9 straight home games until Saturday night. The Royals did.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty good.
Surprisingly good. They weren't supposed to be. And they, especially early on. They were really they had I can't remember what exactly the record was, but they came off right away. Pretty good looking team, which surprised a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was good. It was fun. Yesterday we had the Husker spring game, so I was at home drinking some Kool-Aid all day. It was wonderful. Of course, you take these games with a grain of salt. I mean, sometimes they're made to you look good out there, and so that's. I mean, although last year we didn't really look good, fumbling all those times.
Jeff Sims was 9 for 13 on his throws, though, for over 100 yards. No,
we had a lot of fumbles though last year.
Yeah, we did. It is hard to
tell.
a
sign of things to come,
especially like yesterday, the way they were rotating. Like you didn't know, like how to go wrong, but it looked like 3rd, 4th stringers. Like it didn't look like he was running against Michigan or Ohio State. So yeah, it's tough to make it read. You're just looking for big plays. Like I don't know, just ones that catch your eye that look a little more athletic than the average Joe. If that makes any sense, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Like Raiola, Jalen Lloyd, like that one.
Yes, good decision.
Like 78 yards.
Yeah, I was impressed by Harburg too.
Absolutely,
he cleaned up his mechanics a lot.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Good. I didn't watch any of it.
Good times ahead. I mean, we got, the QB standard right now is Mahomes. So we got baby Mahomes in Lincoln, which in fact I saw he's going to be going to train with Patrick Mahomes here after the semester's over. And his trainer. So that's pretty cool. I texted that to my Iowa buddies, who's Chiefs fans. I'm like, oh, look at this. And then our team, the Bears, have Mahomes Jr. I mean, life is good now. Our QBs are set. This is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh,
I'm trying to pull back a little bit, but man, it's not even the quarterback. It's just everything on top of the quarterback, all the moves we did in the offseason. Like I love the trades we made, or draft pick trades. Get some decent. We got Montez Sweat in there.
And how
Allen,
about
DJ Moore?
How about our new punter?
Yeah, we get the Iowa punter as well, Taylor,
and he's incredible.
Yeah, he is.
Like I was reading some on Twitter, people obviously don't know. I mean, we've seen him a lot. I watch
all too much.
Typically, I watch 2 full games on Saturdays. One are the Huskers to win. Second is Iowa to lose. So those are the 2 games I am dialed in on. So I've seen a lot of Tory Taylor punts, and like their whole scheme last year was just get the ball, you get 10 yards, then you punt it to the 2-yard line. I mean, that was just what it was. He was amazing.
Yeah, we should be able to win the field position game with him.
Now, did you see Caleb Williams did send Tory Taylor a text message? I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, you're not going to have to be punting long.
Yeah, we don't need you very much.
Yeah,
he said.
that was that's what it was. We won't need you very much.
We don't need you very much. So,
well, I'm going to make a note on April 28th, timestamp 9/16. So when football season starts, I can come back and clip these wonderful words of enthusiasm and optimism.
The NFL's so interesting because it always has your attention. Like you always have something to look forward to. So we just got done with a draft. Now, when's the schedule come out?
Do you not know exactly?
It says sometime in May.
Yeah, I knew that, but there's not like a production for that.
Well, there is.
Oh, okay.
There's just not a date for it yet.
I see.
So we'll be looking for some Bears in prime time. I mean, it's going to be just off the charts.
New
This
field
is one-
possibly underway as well.
What's that?
New field underway possibly as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you like the new stadium?
Yes.
A lot of people are just complaining about the parking, and it drives me insane. Do we just forget how to walk completely?
Yeah.
You have to be right next to the stadium and have a 2-minute walk.
Yeah.
I've only been to one Bears game, and we walked a long ways.
Yeah.
Just walked from the hotel to the stadium.
But also,
That's fine.
Chicago is a walkable city. Like it's not like Lincoln. Sometimes it's hard to walk to the stadium from here. You get stuck in construction and stuff like that. Chicago's a very walkable city. It should not be that big of a deal.
Well, it's all by all those parks too, so it should
Yeah.
let that flow
Right.
pretty easily,
Yeah.
where you're not just getting jammed up there. That
I don't
take
know.
just drove me insane. How many people are complaining about the parking?
Yeah.
Like, well, what a lazy take.
Get out.
You can't walk.
or take a cab.
Those are
or
probably
There's
people,
there's gonna be transit all over
Yeah.
too. They're not
Yeah.
just
They
gonna
have
set it
public
up and not
transportation.
have buses and
trams or
trams
whatever.
to get you there.
When we went to a Metallica concert in Minneapolis, we took like a train or whatever. We load it and it just dropped us off right at the stadium.
Yeah, and they're probably going to do
that. It's not like they're not going to think of that.
Yeah, just build it here. If you got a boat, you can get to it easy. You just sail right up to the front gate and then just hop right in.
Sail.
It's going to be interesting, too, if they open up those windows or those sides, if they go through the stadium, because that wind off the lakefront is going to be ripping through that stadium.
Yeah.
So they could, if they still want to be the Windy City, they could just open up those windows and that thing's going to be howling through the stadium.
I don't mind having a dome. I don't care about cold weather advantage. Doesn't bother me any.
Hasn't done us very well, so I don't care. I can't just sit on there and pretend like it's one of his games.
And it's not like the players aren't acclimated to the cold, so it's not like. Honestly, I think it's more of less of an advantage if you're like Tampa Bay or whatever, and you're used to practicing in the heat, and then you have to go play in the cold. They're still going to be acclimated to the cold. They live in Chicago. It's not really the same.
And I like for Nebraska's schedule, we play at USC in November, and it's like, oh, we don't get them in the elements, but we get to take our offense and play in the 70-degree weather. I mean, so that's a benefit for Nebraska, I think. I mean, better the weather, the more even the game is. So that's okay with me.
Yeah, I not try to weigh into too much unless it's like wind and rain are the ones I really look at.
Yeah,
wind, oof, duh.
And Buffalo, I'll give them credit. I mean, that's different. Buffalo's a different type of cold.
In the snow that they get, they don't just get a dusting.
Or Kansas City playoff game, when it was people were like had serious injuries of frostbite and losing fingers and toes, and
well, that's their own fault.
It's a level 10 fan. I mean, right?
That Iowa game, that was cold for us.
Yeah,
we went to
I
Nebraska,
remember seeing
Iowa
you guys
game.
bundled up, leaving out the door. A couple marshmallows.
Yes, we were. There's no shame.
Any other thoughts on the draft? Oh, I just do want to ask you, a couple things. One, the Falcons taking Michael Penix at number 8.
They're spending $100 million guaranteed on Kirk Cousins.
It's kind of a head scratcher a little bit. I mean, they could have taken Rome Odunze or Dallas Turner or somebody else, but and if they would have taken like JJ McCarthy, who's 21, and then he sits for a year or two behind Cousins, that would have made a little bit more sense. Penix is like 20; he'd be 24 this month, so he's going to be really old by the time.
Yeah.
26, 27 by the time he's ready to take over.
There's obviously like they switch pivot because Kirk Cousins didn't know, and he was very shocked by it. So I don't know if they just like really didn't think Michael Penix Jr. was going to be there, and they fell in love with him, and they were going to take him if he was, and they were surprised. But I get it. Maybe they're trying to thing where your quarterback sits back and watches.
Like the Packers.
The real guy. Yeah, like the Packers, like the Chiefs.
It's worked well for us.
It's worked well, but I don't know. I don't think I would still pull that move. Yeah. I like Michael Penix Jr. a lot, but I don't think I would have taken him there.
Also, Kirk Cousins is not Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers.
They got a good team. Like if they were to get another key skill player or even just a blue chip offensive lineman, another quarterback. I don't know. I didn't like them. I'm trying to make sense of it.
I mean, it's okay.
But that goes against your argument of learning from the quarterback. If he's a mid quarterback, he'll do well on a team
I really
either
like
way.
Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, so I'm talking about Kirk Cousins.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, Kirk Cousins, he's tough.
I mean, he is coming off an injury.
Worst injury of his career.
Yeah.
See, I mean, it's kind of.
But he's old. How old is he?
He's like 37.
I mean,
36,
relatively
37.
speaking, he's old.
But he has about $500-600 million in the bank, so I don't think
he seems like a great guy. I'm not putting him down. We watched him on that quarterback show or whatever.
Yeah,
he seems like a good guy.
Yeah, 35 years old.
I think he's a little underwhelming.
Yeah, but it's so like you look at the Bears and you're like, oh my gosh, we have all these players and we're going to be incredible. And then you just like start looking around the NFC North. And you're like, oh, Detroit's really good. The Packers are really good. Then you're like, oh, the Vikings, they I don't know if they're going to be really good. And then you're thinking, after they took McCarthy, we're like sitting around thinking, well, let's see, who do he has for his weapons? Oh, he's Justin Jefferson. He has Jordan Addison. He has TJ Hawkinson. He has Aaron Jones. It's like, what the heck?
That's right. They got Aaron Jones in the backfield too now. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's like the NFC North has gone from not being very good to like really strong. I think like maybe there's 2 or 3 teams that you're just like, oh, this should be a win. And that's like Carolina, and if Rico's listening, the Patriots. Outside of them, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. What do you think about JJ McCarthy? I'm not necessarily as down on him as other people are because he's accurate, and I always take accuracy. It's like 27 touchdowns, only 4 picks last season.
Well, you just don't know because
you never really know.
He just wasn't really asked to do much.
Exactly.
I mean, he just handed the ball off. Like to get that game against Penn State, they didn't throw in the second half. They just run every time.
But when he was asked to throw, highly efficient.
But he's walking into a good situation, good offensive coach, a lot of weapons. He's been coached hard by Jim Harbaugh, so
that's his thing. And he's got a lot of that. Michigan playbook was NFL,
and they have
a lot of the reads.
Sam Darnold. So he might not have to start right away, which is good too.
Let Sam Darnold take some of the heat. He's used to it.
Yeah, he's used to it. So I don't know, but now the draft's over. Now it stinks. We got to wait. We got May, June, July. We got to wait 5 months.
NBA playoffs.
Nah.
Not buying that.
It's the only time you dial into the NBA.
I don't even dial in.
Pay
now.
attention.
I know what's going on.
If you would watch Jokic one night, I think you'd fall in love.
When we were in Kansas City, when we got home Saturday night, the Lakers and Nuggets were in game 1. And so we watched like the last 4 or 5 minutes. So I saw him hit a couple threes.
You got to watch him when he's in the paint. Because you're a Hakeem fan, I mean, he bridged the gap between the 80s to the modern day center. It is just incredible to watch. Putting 80 in the spins, it doesn't matter who's in him. He'll just go one-on-one in the block, and he can do it at will. But he just lets the team get in the flow. And then the second half, you really start seeing him take over if needed. He's such a fun player to watch.
Wasn't he drafted in the second round?
Yeah, over I think it was a Taco Bell commercial.
Yeah, jeez.
And then
his name just throws up on the screen. They don't even talk about him.
But it's so funny. One of his earlier in his first season, I remember he puts up a shot and he's got an unorthodox looking jumper, and the announcer says, "Geez, they're just letting anybody score now."
Yeah.
No idea what that man was about to do.
But the Lakers did get one. They won last night, so now it's 3-1.
Yeah,
I'm just not a huge NBA fan. That's probably because my team's just been terrible for 5 years. It's totally irrelevant. The Houston Rockets, but back in the 90s, and I mean, when Shaq and Kobe were playing, like that was, especially when Jordan was playing, that was the height for me. It was just.
Well, I think it's because the rivalries were
so
there
good.
Too. I think that's part missing today is that the rivalries aren't as strong. You got buddies switching jerseys, taking pictures after getting blown out by 20. And back in the day, if it's Detroit versus the Bulls, no one's slapping high fives, hanging out after.
Jordan's not going to get his picture with John Starks after the next series.
Yeah.
So
a little more animosity that made it fun to watch.
Yeah, and it was good. But we're getting told that it's time for a break. So we're gonna wrap up the sports fanatics segment of the show. We're gonna get into health and fitness coming up after the break. So stay with us, 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard, increase security, and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the Bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
There's more time to save big at Bonzal Pool and Spa with their extended Double the Savings sales event. Now through April 30th, buyers can take advantage of up to $1,500 in savings when they purchase a new hot spring spa. Visit the Bonzal Pool and Spa showroom at 33rd and Pioneers, or visit their website at www.bonzalpool.com to learn more about this hot sale. Act now because this offer ends April 30th. Bonzal Pool and Spa, every day made better.
Hey Nebraska! Register today for the 40th annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. If you've experienced a sports injury, joint or back pain, trust your care to Nebraska Orthopedic Center, a proud platinum partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. Welcome back in, Fitness Fanatics. As most of you know, we had some severe storms come through Lincoln and Omaha on Friday. Pretty crazy. Nicole and I didn't even really rain at our place. Like we were on about 56 in Pioneers area.
Southside, us sunlight.
Yeah.
It was sunny for us.
We were actually taking a nap.
Yeah, we're taking a nap. Jeff's like, there's a tornado, whatever it was. Warning. And he's like, should we go upstairs? Our bedroom's in the basement. I'm like,
why would we go upstairs?
Yeah.
I mean, he did. And it wasn't severe for us. And he went upstairs. But I'm like, no, I want to keep taking a nap.
No, we go upstairs to watch.
I will say it's not a smart move. I'm not going to tell anybody to do it. But you see everybody go out there with their phones. When you're used to it,
I know.
You can kind of understand where it's going.
Yeah.
Well,
don't do it if you don't know what you're doing.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not smart. I'm not going to recommend it still.
No.
But I don't freak out. I know that's a lot of people.
One thing that my uncle did call me just to make sure we were okay. And he said that the thing that bothers him is when people are, which is a good point, the little tip, if you're in a tornado warning, put your shoes on, because a lot of times people are just out there without their shoes on, all that stuff. If something happens, and then you're like climbing out of this rubble with glass and all these shards and stuff. So put your shoes on.
And if you want to really be out there and watch it, there's hail, put a helmet on. I don't care if you look stupid.
Yeah.
Put a biker helmet on.
Yeah.
Hail will
If
do
you
more
really
damage than you know.
Oh my gosh, I know. I saw some
Golf ball
footage,
size hail.
of hail just shattering windows.
Well,
That's
there
crazy.
were a lot of areas in the Omaha area, Elkhorn, that were really, really
affected,
devastated and affected by this. So if you want to help people affected by disasters, you can text Red Cross to 90999 to give $10 to the American Red Cross. Okay, Nebraska Strong. We stand with Nebraska and our neighbors in Iowa.
And there's also some Nebraska Strong
Yes.
shirts. You can go to Husker.com or any of the big red locations. There's plenty of them around here. T-shirts on there. And it just says a little quote on there. But again, I think all the proceeds of the shirts, about $25, $28, all of that goes to Red Cross as well. So
Red Cross is a great organization too. I know when I was a teenager, we lost our house to a house fire. And I always think about this especially when tornadoes are so devastating, because that was really tough for us and our family. We lost everything that we owned, including 2 of our pets. And that was really difficult. But then you think of the magnitude of that happening to an entire community. I just can't imagine how the resources that are needed for that. But the Red Cross helped a ton during that time. They gave us vouchers to buy clothes that we needed, to buy the essentials that we didn't have. They put us up in a hotel for a couple nights. So like, I've had personal experience with the Red Cross, and it's a really great
that's
organization.
awesome. That's good to have, like, you can actually speak on it, and that the money you saw real help immediately from it.
I mean,
so that's
immediately.
a great vouch for it.
We had gift cards for restaurants, gift cards to Walmart, and somewhere to stay. So I definitely appreciate everything that the people at Red Cross do.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you give your money, you don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't know.
No, you really don't.
100%
today.
for sure what's happening with it. But yeah, that's cool that Nicole's dealt with that. So again, if you want to give $10 to the American Red Cross, you can text Red Cross to 90999 to help give. So I know just some devastating images and stories, and this is the closest I've ever been to a tornado, and I didn't even see anything.
Yeah, I had some friends north. If you were on the far north, like 84th.
Yeah,
they just had like just straight video. As soon as it got north of Lincoln, they saw it, and it was scary to look at, because you knew it wasn't gonna get any smaller.
I don't understand how that works. I just don't understand how tornadoes work.
It's got a whip, superstorm style, and at the end it makes
crazy.
that little hook, and that little hook is the possible
how it just
tornado
like
drop.
goes through stuff. It doesn't like slow down. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was close to in Grand Island.
You
but
were.
I was
the night
2
of
years
the tornadoes.
old. The night of the Twisters back in
Twisters.
1980. We did live in Grand Island when all those tornadoes ripped through there. But I was 2. Obviously, I don't remember any of it. And our house wasn't affected. It was the other side of town. And of course, in 1980, you don't have your phones and Twitter and weather apps and where are we at? And just zoom into our street. That's just okay. Here's
With
our
the radar.
street.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you just zoom right in. Oh, there's our house. It's in the purple zone. Well, we better do something.
Yeah.
So just the stories that I heard was the side of town we lived on wasn't really affected, and then my dad got up to go to work, and as he got through a certain section, then it's just what was really weird is how one side of the street is fine, the other side of the street is decimated and demolished.
Yeah.
And that's
wild.
how there was probably 15 years ago, maybe 16, 17, there was an F5 tornado that went through Parkersburg, Iowa, that just tore up the school and just went right through the center of town. And I used to do sales and stuff, so I'd been up to Parkersburg quite a bit. You could just drive through town and see exactly where the tornado went through. Years later, just because of the
new houses,
the
rebuilds of the new houses right next to houses that had been there for you could just tell that it was just like the whole parts of the city that had to be rebuilt.
New trees versus old trees. I mean, just driving through town, it's one side it's old tall trees, the other side brand new.
Well, it wasn't that long of those twin tornadoes and blanket on the city they hit. You can still drive through there and kind of notice where all that reconstruction was. Yeah, they're scary. So definitely help out. Red Cross 90999.
Yes. So we had our 5-week testing for our 10-week challenge. Everybody had really good results. Kind of the goal that Nicole and I look for at 5 weeks. We don't really care so much about your number on the scale. In fact, Nicole had a great idea. I don't know why we didn't do this.
We've done
10
it
years
before.
ago.
We used to do it. We've done it before, but not since we've been in Lincoln. So I don't know why I didn't just do it sooner.
We covered up the scale. So as our members stood on the scale, they did not see their weight.
Because the way our
right out of the gate.
in-body machine works, it does break down your body composition in terms of body fat and muscle mass. But when you first step on the scale, it just shows your weight first before you actually go through that process. And that can mess with your head sometimes, especially if in our program, because our program isn't to lose weight as fast as possible. It's body recomposition. Our goal is to help you build muscle, and that's going to help you lose body fat. And in 5 weeks, sometimes that can feel really slow if you're only focusing on the scale. And so, yeah, we covered it up, which is actually kind of interesting because then once that was done, we could reveal part of the screen where you and I could see. I still didn't know what their weight was,
Nope, I
and
didn't
neither
either.
did you until the sheet printed off. But we know how to interpret that information, that I could already tell if they've gained muscle, if their body fat percentage had gone down. So it was a really good way to kind of bring that focus to the positive instead of the negative. Because we had a lot of people that only lost a couple pounds, didn't lose any weight, but had significant body composition changes.
Yeah,
which is normal.
It definitely affects people mentally if you let it. And we have weighed in thousands of people over the last 10 years, thousands, probably 4,000 people we've done this for. And it's just something about when you see your number on the scale not changing. Some people are okay with it, and some people just completely shut off, and they don't even listen to anything that we tell them.
Yes.
After they see that number. And it's interesting, and I tell this to a lot of people when they gain a pound or just lose a pound or their weight stays the same, but they've lost 5 pounds of fat, gained a couple pounds of muscle, body fat percentages dropped 3%.
Lost multiple inches off of waist and hips and chest, whatever.
Yeah. So it's interesting. If I did my 5-week body comp, and of course people know you're doing ferals, right? So they're going to ask you, oh, how'd your results go? You can give them 2 answers. And this is just true about everything, not just ferals, but anything that you're doing, any results that you get when it comes to fitness, weight loss, whatever. Well, I didn't lose any weight. Instantly, the friend says, well, that program sucks, right? You need to do this. You need to try this quick fix. You need to, and they instantly become experts on nutrition and health and wellness, right? Or if the same friend says, oh, how'd your results go? And you tell them, I lost 5 pounds of fat and my body fat percentage dropped from 41 to 38 in 5 weeks. That same person will be like, that's amazing. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And
it's the same data.
It's the same data. It's just how you deliver it, which affects what somebody thinks about
or what
you're
you
doing.
think. It's more of that's just the way that you'd explain it, but that's how we should be talking to ourselves too. I feel like we always are trying to focus on the positive of those results, and there's almost always something positive to focus on. So if you can just focus on that. And the thing is, when that happens, people are like, before they step on the scale, how has the first 5 weeks gone for you? Oh, it's been great. I feel better. I have so much more energy. My clothes are fitting better. And then they step on the scale and they don't see a change.
I know.
Or they've only lost 2 pounds, which before they've done something, super calorie restrictive, and they lost 20 pounds in 10 weeks or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but it didn't work. That's why you're here now. So I saw this tweet that was the fastest. This is, I think, really fits for our program too. But the quickest way to improve your health and fitness is to do it slowly. That's the quickest way to do it slowly, because in 10 weeks, you could get slow but sustainable results, or you could get really fast results in 10 weeks. And then in 10 weeks, you could be right back where you started if it's not sustainable. So that's something to think about. always. It's something we're always talking to our members about.
Don't know if they listen all that much.
Well, it's hard. It's like years and years of conditioning and programming in our brains. So that is hard. It's a hard concept for people when they're so used to applying like a moral value to that number on the scale. And nobody cares. Like nobody cares what that number is. So I don't know why we give it so much power.
Just how we've grown up.
I know it is. It's a condition.
Like we say,
conditioned response.
When you go to the store to buy a dress, or Harrison and I go to buy a pair of jeans, we're not like, oh, where's the 200-pound rack? Can you point me to that? No, they don't sell clothes based on your weight.
No,
it's off of your inches, your body composition. So we try to really tell people that whatever you're doing, if you lose 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, you're doing it the right way and the healthy way. That might be the quickest way,
right?
When in our instant gratification world that we live in, it's like with Matt Rule, gosh, we need to go to the Rose Bowl year one. No, we need to be patient, and do things the right way and the sustainable way. And it's just going to be a little more painful, but it's consistent.
And there's also a time, this talking about Matt Rule, where like, if he would say that, but your expectations don't meet the effort that you're putting into it. So like we had one gal that had been on vacation. She had been gone for 10 days and she was fine with it.
Yeah.
But she got on the scale and she hadn't changed at all. But she literally had just gotten back from being gone for 10. I'm like, you were on vacation for
I think that's a win.
days. I did. She did too. I'm like, you've maintained over a 10-day vacation.
Yes.
Like that's amazing that you were already kind of making some momentum going into that vacation. And then I said, at the same time, you have to realize like your expectations are they lined up with the effort? And that's not a bad thing to say. It's just, she was on vacation. She was somewhere where she couldn't access the virtual workout. So she wasn't doing the virtual workouts, which is fine. You're going to have vacations. You don't have to put your whole life on hold. It's better if you make it work into your lifestyle. So she was like, yeah, you're right. I like that. And when you say expectations meeting your effort, it's not like a judgment, like you're failing at the effort. It's just like sometimes life happens. Sometimes like Tina McNamara, the female national challenge winner who got COVID, like the first week of her 10-week challenge, like that, her expectations and her effort were probably not lined up in that first week. That's not her fault. That's not like a shaming or a blaming thing, but that's just life sometimes. So I think sometimes we have to like zoom out a little bit and get some perspective.
So Coach Rule was Harrison.
We need to go to break. So
no, we're not going to break right now. We just got a couple minutes.
You're starting
this. No. This is about fitness. But I do want to ask you though. Did you go to the game or are you watching the broadcast?
I was here. Me and DP were doing live reactions.
Oh, okay.
Not calling it, but
it was. I don't know if you were able to like listen to the broadcast, but Coach Rule was in the broadcast booth. It was amazing television. Like
I gotta go back and watch that.
Oh, it was so good
because I just went back and rewatched like the highlights of the spring game. I gotta sit down.
Oh, you need to listen because it was so funny because he did say something health and fitness related, which I'll get to in just a second. Which I wanted to make a clip and then play it for our members.
Oh, okay.
But it was just funny getting his instant reactions because like Ja'Cory Barney had like a 80-yard kickoff return, right? And then the next time he returned the kick, he took it to the 5-yard line. And Coach Rule was like, well, this is what you get when you have a freshman back there. Like it was so funny. I was just so into it. Like just he was
mic'd up almost.
Like and they'd go to tackle and he'd be like, oh, get down. What are you doing? It's just really good. So if you're at the game and you didn't record it, or if you didn't like record it, or if you hadn't seen it, if it's on replay later, just record it and just go back. He was up there for about 30 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
But it was so awesome. Just like
how was it health related?
Well, I'll get there.
We have to go to break. You are taking a long way.
We're fine.
All right.
Okay, so they started talking about Nash Hutmacher and losing weight.
Yeah, the wrestling transition.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, Coach Rule said, they were asking him, well, how he did it. And then he said, You know, we watch these late night shows on take this, do that, take these. Like, he's like, no, it turns out, guys, when you work out for an hour and a half a day and you eat good nutrition, good things happen.
Weird.
I know. So that was just like him plugging, hey, the best way to get in shape or to get a goal is to work out and follow a nutrition plan.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. It was just, it was really, really cool. So, all right, well, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back here in just a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere. 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Ask adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Hello.
Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with your cell for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone back with the latest update from Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, your new car selection keeps getting better and better every month. Can you tell our listeners all about it?
It sure is, Charlie. It's great that our customers can come in, pick out a new Honda, and drive away with it that day.
How many new Hondas do you have in stock?
Well, right now we have just about 100 in stock.
Hey, I hear you've won some very important awards in your service department. Tell us about them.
Well, the first one is we won the award for the first fixed award. So the cars are actually fixed on the very first time they're brought in. Second award is our Customer Service Experience Award. And then our third award is our Honda Express Service Elite. And we rank the best in quality and customer satisfaction.
Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we just got a couple minutes here. Then we'll be joined by Callie at the top of the hour to talk all things London Marathon. So we're excited to have her. She's in the stream and ready to roll. So she'll be with us here in a few minutes. Want to just touch on our results here again from the 5 weeks testing. It's interesting, and think about your own fitness, whatever you guys are doing now. Allow yourselves some patience. We're just talking about consistency, kind of the slower the better. One of my favorite quotes is when it comes to health and fitness is from Usain Bolt. And he says he trains 4 years to run 9 seconds. 4 years of training to run 9 seconds. And people give up if they don't see results after 2 months. It takes time. So we tell our 10-week challengers, allow yourselves to be a beginner in the gym when it comes to kickboxing. Allow yourselves to be a beginner when it comes to nutrition. You're not going to get everything down in a week, 2 weeks. Heck, we've been at this for 15 years at Farrell's, and we don't have everything down. So it's always a constant learning and falling down, picking ourselves back up. You fall off the wagon, you get back on. It's just a never-ending journey, really, where there is no finish line. Your health and fitness is like doing the laundry. You always have to do the laundry. It will never end until somebody else is taking care of you. So don't take your health for granted.
Be patient.
Be patient. Stick with it, because you never know how long you have. Okay? So we'll leave you with that. We're going to go to break. A quick segment. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back with Callie on the flip side. 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics. We'll be right back.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Gary with Gary Michaels Clothiers Lincoln. I'm here to tell you about our custom shirt program. When you come into the store, we measure your chest, mid-waist, and sleeve length. Enter the measurements in an app, and we create your data fit size. You then try on one of our 99 data fit shirts for the proper fit. After that, pick out the fabric, collar, cuff, placket, and in roughly 2 weeks, your shirts are delivered at the same cost of buying off the rack. And by the way, the neck fits too. Gary and Michael's Custom Shirts at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
In offices today, many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with yourself for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com. Road construction is complete, so there's nothing keeping you from getting into Mullen Motors. They can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2024 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2023 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Layton in Lincoln.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Now's the time to schedule your air conditioner service check with Bryant. Make sure it's ready to keep you cool and comfortable when you really need it. Call Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111.
There's more time to save big at Bonsall Pool and Spa with their extended Double the Savings sales event. Now through April 30th, buyers can take advantage of up to $1,500 in savings when they purchase a new hot spring spa. Visit the Bonsall Pool and Spa showroom at 33rd and Pioneers or visit their website at www.bonsallpool.com to learn more about this hot sale. Act now because this offer ends April 30th. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better.
This is Kingdom Sports Minute with Ron Brown, the radio voice of Kingdom Sports.
Clayton Castor resigned as a Michigan high school basketball coach in 2017 after he was named the best coach in his class. Castor's reason for leaving was mainly the parents. Castor said, "At the end of the day, the reason I'm resigning is because of parents. I don't want to deal with them. I really enjoy this, but parents have taken the fun and enjoyment right out of it. I don't have thick enough skin or the will to put up with it. For that amount of time, it's just not worth it." Combative parents who undermine and betray coaches are far too common in sports. So this often leads to coaches throwing in the towel. The plot to arrest Jesus by evil men during the Passion Week was the ultimate betrayal. He knew it would be his last night, but he didn't focus on his own need for comfort. Rather, he prepared his men for the next 24 hours. Jesus was an example of a strong-hearted leader who withstood the pressures around him, and that should lead us to do the same.
Visit kingdomsports.online.
The need in our community, if you just look at the numbers, it's frightening. We're serving over 1,000 kids every day. With the passion of our people, I really feel like our potential to be of even greater service to kids and families who are struggling is just unlimited. But in order to have the greatest impact, we need all the help we can get from the community.
Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome in, Fitness Fanatics. I believe we are joined in the stream by Cal. She is down in, well, I don't know if it's the great state of Texas, but It is. Yes. So before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor. Fitness Fanatics is sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, and weekends. If you're interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So appreciate them and all they do for our show and their sponsorship. Well, welcome back in to the Fitness Fanatics. Callie, you just went on a little trip.
I did. Just a small one.
Just a small one overseas to London to do a full marathon.
Yes. The London Marathon. Yeah.
I know. I don't know. Jeff, I don't think Jeff understands the prestige of the London Marathon. You just keep saying a marathon in London. It's the London Marathon. It's like the New York Marathon, So.
Yeah. Boston. It's up there with the Big Six. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get into the Big Six here later because we've seen you post about something crazy that you're going to be trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into the marathon, we want to talk about kind of what you've been up to over the last year. Most importantly, how you have found your motivation, your reasons to keep going, keep staying healthy after winning the national challenge, because we see a lot of people struggle to kind of maintain that momentum once
after 10 weeks.
After 10 weeks, yes, winning $1,000 or just having great changes in 10 weeks. So we see people struggle. So kind of
and also we've had Callie on the show before.
Yes.
So everyone, you can always go back and listen. We had her on after she won the 2022 national challenge. Which is part of the reason why we're having you on a little bit shorter, just because we did all of that background. So you can definitely go back and listen to that show too on podcast and stuff like that. We'll share that. But so we've had you on before, kind of have that little backstory. You won the 2022 national challenge, and then kind of pick up where we left off after that point. What have you been up to maintain, like Jeff said, that momentum?
Well, right after the challenge was over, I had this kind of feeling of loss. Like I needed that carrot to chase. And so I kept going through the motions and continuing all my workouts, but I wanted that bigger goal. I had my micro everyday goals, but I wanted a bigger goal. And a friend suggested, let's train for a 5K. And I will tell you, I was not a runner, didn't know how to run. The first shoes I wore when I ran were comic. They're cute, but they were definitely not meant to move in. So I didn't know what I was doing. And then I did Lance Farrell's podcast, and he asked me what's next? And I kind of threw out there a couple of small things. And I said, well, maybe a marathon by the time I'm 50. And at the time I was 44, and he looked at me and he's like, I bet you could do it before then. And I think that planted the seed of why am I pushing this so far? That should be the next carrot. That should be the next thing I chase.
Uh-oh.
So somewhere along the way of training for the 5K, it became a 10K, then a half. And somewhere during that half, it turned into a full. And then right before I ran my first full marathon, which was in September, and it was in Arkansas, I decided, let me try to see if I can get into the London Marathon, just on a whim. And I found out literally the next day after I put my application in, they're like, you're part of the team. And I didn't have a chance to be freaked out about it. I didn't have a chance to think about it. It was just kind of all of a sudden it was there. So that's, how I kind of got to where I am now with the running. But and it was so what y'all were saying before the break too, about the 10-week challenge and people just being so, in my opinion, hard on themselves about what to expect to see in that 10 weeks. I think the real muscle you're working in that 10 weeks is just getting to be consistent and getting the rhythm down. And if you do that over 10 weeks, then that's the shift, because if you'd had that mindset already, you wouldn't need to do this. And that was me. I didn't know how to incorporate everything into my everyday. And so the win over the 10 weeks was really getting there. And most people, in the gym that I saw, the second 10-week challenge was the one where you really saw the scale changed more and the pictures changed more. But that first 10 weeks is the foundation. And that 10 weeks laid the foundation for me, kind of focusing less on the scale and more of capabilities. What is my body capable of now? And at the end of the year, I was left I felt the best I had in my whole life. And I was in a really great place physically. So it's like, let's capitalize on that. Like, what can I make my body do? Like, where can I push myself next? And running was definitely that hill that I wanted to climb.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think habit building should be the goal of the first 10 weeks, building those habits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. So you started running. I follow you on Instagram and you do talk about your runs a lot. So Jeff and I've done 4 marathons. Jeff's done 5. I
That's
have
awesome.
officially, I have retired. I retired from marathons after my 4th one. One of the things I jokingly like to say is slow learning is still learning. And I slowly had to learn that I don't enjoy marathon training at all. Like, it's great. I'm glad I could do it. I know I can do it and I don't need to do it anymore. But we'll talk about some of the crazy stuff that we've done that aligns with the crazy stuff. You're in that right now. And so, but yeah, we've done marathons. It's just, but when I watch you content, I love you talking about it, but it's really funny because it does not make me want to train for a marathon because I've done it before. So I know exactly how you feel when you're having tough runs. And and it builds so much confidence in your abilities. Like, you learn more from those bad runs than you do from the easy runs easily. So kind of talk about that. You've had some ups and downs. You've had a couple races that weren't the greatest.
No, I mean, I call it runner's bingo. I think I'm like slowly checking off all the boxes, like I was in a pileup on one race where like people in front of me fell, but I was going too fast to stop myself. So I was part of that. I got nudged in another race and fell and like skinned my knee. So, I mean, a lot of crazy things happen. It's just kind of par for the course. But the reason I post like the hard stuff as well as like when I have a success is because I don't want people to think it's easy. It's not easy. I want them to think it's doable, it's achievable, and it's just digging in and doing it.
Yeah, because you are so real about it.
It is like most days. I mean, I don't know anyone who wakes up and is like, today I get to do a 20-mile long run. I can't wait to get out the door. It's usually a little bit of a pep talk in the car. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to get it done. It's going to help me feel more confident when I actually do the thing. So it's just it's a hurdle I have to jump over. But most of the time, the long runs, I'm not super excited about them. Most of the time, if I'm really good, it's just like get in the car, go, and don't think about it. But some days are harder than others, but it's all about, again, building that muscle and that dedication, waking up super early because in Texas, it is already super hot here. So I know that I have to wake up and be out there as the sun comes up, or by the time I'm done with this run, we've gone up like 15 degrees in heat. So I need to hurry up and get it done before it gets bad. So I'm racing the clock. And so it's just, sometimes the fun thing is like I'll see nature because I'm out there like really early and there's fun things to see. But for the most part, it's just dig deep, get it done. Running the long runs, it's usually multiple hours, so you're stuck in your own head with your own thoughts. So that's actually helped me a lot to kind of realign my thinking, more positive internal monologue, because it wasn't always so positive. Finding a way that when you don't want to do it, you dig deep, and that helps with the marathons because, as you guys know, there is a wall at some point when you're running the marathon. And most people, it's around 20 miles. I think my first marathon, it was about 17 miles. And this time it was 22. And
22 is always mine. 22, like, gosh, I'm just so sick of it. And it feels so
I'm
far.
over this. I'm over this.
Yeah.
And it's not even like you're sore, you're hurt, or your body can't go anymore. It's just 4 more miles. You've already done 22. It's like a psychological thing where you're like, you know what? I've done this. I'm pretty good now. I could stop. But the crowd, the scenery, the getting it done, it'll motivate you to keep going. But the long runs are practice for that, like turning off that voice and finding a different thing to think about, a different thing to focus on, and hone in on that. And so and these are all life skills. I mean, you can take these and use them other places as well. So I think that it's been a very positive experience. I am in my love phase of all of this too. Like in the beginning it wasn't, and now I've kind of met myself there, and I love doing this. But ask me again in a couple years and we'll see. Maybe I've retired, but right now I'm loving it.
Well, and I think for us, it's more difficult because we do run 2 gyms. So I think for me at least, that last marathon, we had moved. We were running 2 gyms now. I didn't have my running group. I had to train for this marathon by myself. So logistically for us, it's just not smart to train for full marathons.
I would say not smart.
Right.
Yes. I was about ready to say you're not special.
Right.
Everybody has stuff going on.
I know.
They can find time to train for a
Yes.
marathon if we want to. We just don't want to.
It's just not smart.
Well, you've done it. You've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've done it. I love doing half marathons. Those are,
Me too.
I love half marathons. I love training for those. But yeah, like you said, and I think that's why your content resonates with me so much, because it's almost like it puts me back in that mindset too. And how you wrap your mind around like, okay, I have to run 15 miles this week. And you have a moment where you're happy about it. And then immediately the clouds starts coming over you, or, well, now you have to do 16 next week.
And I'm always looking ahead too at my plan. Like, what's the next one? And if it's a deload week and I go like half the mileage, I'm like, okay, just get through this week. And then I have a little bit of a break. But I am always kind of like looking one step ahead to kind of psych myself out a little bit.
Constantly. Yeah. Now, do you ever go back and look at some of those videos that you posted about being nervous about runs? Especially probably for you, like going back to when you were just a little baby runner and just watching yourself. Yeah. Do you ever do that?
Oh, yeah. And actually, before the London Marathon, I got really I'm a data person. I want to research and understand everything. So I even went back and revisited the marathon I ran last September in Arkansas. I looked at my MyZone statistics to see and it was clear I'd messed up from the beginning. Like I was like crazy heart rate. So then I went and I looked at my runs of my splits, and I came out of the gate like I was on fire, and that was just spelled kind of like the kind of cast the rest of the story there. So I was revisiting that. I also revisited some of my posts and realized, I had a huge panic attack before that first marathon because I'd never run 26 miles before. My plan peaks at 21. So I had that, can I do this? And then the race was delayed for over an hour because of thunderstorms. So I just kind of lived and we didn't know when we were going to start running. So I kind of churned in my own thoughts for a solid hour.
That's a huge delay too for a full marathon because of the preparation you've gone into with your fueling, the food that you've eaten before, your
I had to take some goos before because now what I'd eaten, the sugar was burning off. So I needed to do that. It was just huge. And then we didn't know if we were going to be able to run. So I'm like, I came all the way to Arkansas. I was trained for 16 weeks for this. And I'm standing at the start line and I don't know if we're going to start. That is it definitely messes with your head. But I was looking at all of that and thinking, how can I, what can I change? And some of it was comical because the things I was worried about were not the things I should have been worried about. And the things that weren't on my radar should have been on my radar. So to kind of look at those are a little bit funny, but then also just to see how far I've come and understanding how to do better, to be more successful. All of that's been really I'm glad I've captured all of that so I can go back and revisit it.
Yeah. Yep. One of my quotes, and I'm pretty sure I've shared it with you in your training, but I pretty much share it with everyone that I know is going to be doing a marathon. And I use this sometimes for halves and stuff, but it's a little quote that says, "The race always hurts. Expect it to hurt. You don't train so it doesn't hurt. You train so you can tolerate it."
Yeah.
That just remembering that you are basically training to be able to tolerate the pain of the race gets me out there so much more because it's basically you're conditioning your mind more than anything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it reminds me too of the Farrell's program where the first several 10-week challenges is really just honing that. And then, and it's the same thing when you're training, it's just honing that mindset of, you're absolutely right. It's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt in a way you may not even expect it to hurt. You're going to run into things during that race that you didn't even know. I passed a guy in the London Marathon and we were a mile to the finish. You could see the finish line and he was laid out in the middle of the street. And I thought he had a cramp because they were working his leg. I saw the story several days ago. He had fallen on a water bottle. So they give you water bottles instead of cups of water there. And you're supposed to throw it in the trash as you run by, but people were just throwing them everywhere. he slipped and fell in a bottle and broke his leg. And he was laid out in the middle of the street. Like he could see the finish line. And he ended up crawling backwards to finish the race. And so does anybody plan for that scenario? No, but like you said, you practice, it's in your mind, that goal is in your mind. So it's kind of like, I'm going to claw my way to the finish line if I have to, and then we'll figure the rest of it out. But yeah, that's, it's also life. You don't know like certain things that are going to come at you, but you can, hone your mind to where you can deal with whatever is thrown your way.
Yeah. Yep. And we were talking before the last break or before this segment about, your expectations lining up with your effort. And I just know from following your journey, you've had that, like you were sick this time, right? When you were training,
Yep.
Is that what it was? You got sick.
So I got
you
COVID. I got COVID in February, like right at the halfway point of my training. And then it took, this one had a chokehold on me. I had a cough for months, and it just like my lung capacity, everything was impacted. And then we got the norovirus like several weeks before London. So it was hit a couple of times. And I had been training the first 8 weeks to make a very specific kind of aggressive pace to shave off my first marathon. And at 8 weeks after I realized I wasn't going to just bounce back from that, I had to readjust my goal. And so it was still like, I still wanted to PR, I still wanted to shave time off, but I had to give myself grace because it would have just been pushing too hard. And if you push too hard, again, it was like coming out of that gate too fast, I may end up not being able to finish or finishing far, like in a way that would not make me proud of what I'd done. So I needed to like back off that goal. And I did. And it ended up being like, it was the run of a lifetime. It was the most amazing race I'd ever been a part of. And everything happened, just fell into place and happened the right way. And taking some of that pressure off, I think helped that.
Yeah, especially in your second marathon, because I think that's probably maybe something that people do quite frequently. They do their first one without having a real expectation, which is fine. You shouldn't. This is your first race. And then I think maybe people are a little too aggressive with their second marathon goal. And that's probably where a lot of people get burnt out with running, because they just really push too hard. And then if they fail, then it really makes it hard to kind of psych yourself up to do it again. So probably in hindsight, this was probably the best thing that could have happened for you.
Oh yeah.
Because now even if you had hit that super aggressive goal, it would still be in the back of your head where, well, if I do this again, now I'm going to have to do better. And I'm gonna have to do better and do better. So I think,
I wouldn't have been in the moment, because you're running past like this insane scenery. I mean, you're going over Tower Bridge, you're seeing, the London Eye, Cleopatra's Needle, like all these amazing things. And I would have been so hyper focused on hitting pace and doing everything and maneuvering around everybody, because it is super crowded, that I wouldn't have had those moments to like take it in. And so my technology failed like right before the race. So I didn't have anything tracking my pace. I just literally had to trust that my body would find the pace it was supposed to be at. And so I just kind of leaned into that. I'm like, as long as I'm feeling okay, then I'm just going to trust it. And I was able to I interacted with the crowd and was able to take in those moments and take some pictures and say hi to the guy in the banana suit running next to me. It was a great run that I was able to absorb. And I think if I was too locked in on pace, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, you would have had a different memory of that race.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take our first break. And then when we come back, we'll kind of talk about what's next.
And the London Marathon experience.
Yeah. Your actual marathon itself. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back.
2024 wheat harvest is upon us, agriculture at its finest. Schemper Harvesting is a custom harvesting operation out of Holdridge that is starting to build a crew for the 2024 season that harvests crops from Texas to Montana starting May 15th. Drive trucks from field to market and operate combines and tractors pulling grain carts. Room and board is provided with a competitive wage. Take an adventure and join them for the upcoming harvest and do something others wish they would have done. Call JC at 308-999-2973 or apply online at schemperharvesting.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Be a memory for your grandchildren. Among Nebraska adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up.
Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Hey guys, it's Bill Bush. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty has opened a new location in Pender, Nebraska, in addition to their office in Lincoln. The real estate world can be confusing, so why wouldn't you want an expert helping you every step of the way? If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, or Iowa, give Ethan Sorensen a call today at 402-380-0432 or visit them online at nextagrealestate.com. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty with locations in Lincoln and now Pender, Nebraska.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat, hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come, Strick, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
you
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to Fitness Fanatics. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in, Fitness Fanatics. We're joined by Callie. She's down in Texas. She literally just got back from London, England a few days ago. So we want to talk about your experience over in London and more importantly, the organization that is helping you train and that you're fundraising for and why that means so much to you.
So my stepmother was born and raised in London, and she passed away last March, not like just several weeks after I'd won the year challenge. And she was always this like dream big person. And when I won, she was asking me, what are you going to do next? And I would tell her, and she's like, well, what about this? And it was always something bigger and better. And so always encouraged me to kind of dream bigger. So when I was training for my first marathon in Arkansas, I thought it'd be really great to be able to run London in honor of her. And then I found a charity. She died from a lung disease. And so I found a charity that supports lung health and lung research in the UK. And I just emailed them. I didn't really understand there was an application process. So I just emailed them and said, hey, here's my story. I would really love to run for you guys. And like the next day they responded like, you're in, and here's the minimum you need to raise. And it was all kind of like downhill from there, but in a great way. But being part of this team, they give you like access to different things like a running coach if you want it, a running plan if you want it. And then you have this team of people around the world who are part of that group that's going to be running. And we just supported each other both in fundraising and in our training, like where we were and our plans, how it was going, if people needed help. And so then as it got closer, they were kind of sending us all of our stuff. You get like a special shirt so that you could be, recognized as part of the team. And we were Team Breathe. And they did like special event, like after the marathon, a party to celebrate it. So it was really a cool experience. And then being able to raise over 2,000 pounds for that organization, it just added to the why of the run. And kind of solidified that when I run, if I can, I wanted to do it as a part of a charity, because it really does. It changes the way you think about the run, and it changes like your goals and how you want to achieve them.
Yeah, my first triathlon I did with Team in Training, which is the similar program for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And I agree, it was such a great way to get introduced to that community. It was something that was new for me. And we had a patient that we were kind of supporting. His name was Nick. And I just really remember that it did help me in my training. It helped me get up and get into that training, especially swimming. It was my weakest one. And so I just remember having tough swim workouts and just thinking like, if there was a way that I could just keep swimming and that could like heal him, I would swim forever. I would do this thing that I just really am bad at. And I would do it forever.
And that's, I felt the same way.
Help, so that did.
We're just lucky. We're lucky to be able to do it. Like she was a huge part of my life. She was an incredible woman, and she's not here. I'm very fortunate. I'm still here and I can carry on. Like I had her name on my shirt, the front and the back. I made sure everybody, whenever I posted, everybody knew my why. I wanted to keep her legacy going, but then also, sort of celebrate that, I'm fortunate that I can do this. I'm fortunate I can push my body and run and breathe. I mean, there are a lot of people on the team too who are suffering from lung disease and who are going to run a marathon while suffering with this lung disease. And it's like, I can't complain. Like I just get out there and do the thing because so many people can't. And it does help to sort of refocus the energy. And then when I was running through London, knowing she lived there and these were places she'd seen and she talked about that we visited with her, it was like her running alongside me in a lot of ways. So it was when things got tough. And again, at 22 miles, it got really tough. And I'd had her name like on my shirt. I kept touching my shirt. Like, okay, I'm going to remember, like, we're going to do this. We're going to go hard at the end for her.
Isn't it so cool running when you have stuff to look at
Yeah.
And it's not the same thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like the London Bridge.
It is so cool.
Or
Going
Big Ben,
over the
right?
London Bridge. Yeah. I mean, and I knew that was like the 12, it was almost the halfway point. So when you go over the bridge, it's almost the halfway point and it's just incredible. And you feel like you own the bridge. There are other people obviously running with you, but it's just for you. And I didn't realize there were professional photographers right there. So I'm crying as I go through the bridge and I got those pictures back and I'm like, yeah, I'm not good at I mean, I was like full on like ugly cry because it was such an incredible experience. And then Cleopatra's Needle is like at the 25-mile marker, and you're going to be right parallel to the London Eye, which is on the other side of the Thames. So I knew when I saw that, I'm like, I have a mile, 1.2 miles to go. Kick it up. Like that's where you need to start. And so, and surprisingly, I mean, those were great milestones. The most beautiful parts were the neighborhoods that came out. Like people these neighborhoods would DJ and they would have microphones. And because I had my name on my shirt, or anyone who had their name on their shirt, they would call out your name, like, Hallie, you're looking good. You're almost there. And they would sing, they handed things out. The joy of the city. It was just the most joyous atmosphere on top of the beauty of everything. That was what kept me going. When it kept me out of my head, it kept me in the moment, because these people are just they're excited for you. And then you pass a lot of really fun signs, and a bunch of kids want to give you a high five as you're running through. It's a celebration.
This is a big contrast to your first marathon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. So
Your
my
first marathon was really small, right?
It was
a small marathon.
And and they had there were lesser mileage, lesser distances, and there was a relay. So there weren't as many people running the marathon. And at one point I was completely by myself, and I was even wondering, I'm like, am I still going in the right direction? Was I supposed
I know
to
that
turn back there?
feeling. I've been lost in a marathon before. So yes.
I mean, I was very fortunate that it just happened, because at one point we were in a green belt in a park. And so it was less obvious which way you were supposed to go. So it was definitely not a lot of spectators even going through the finish line. There were a handful, again, because the rain really deterred a lot of people at that point. It was a quiet run. It was just me and my goals, but so it was you had to dig deep on that one. But then for this, there was just everyone, strangers, just kept you going. And the people running with you. I cried at the start line because so many people had on their shirts, I'm running for my brother, I'm running for, whatever. And it's inspiring, and knowing that we're all there for the same reason. And just to celebrate what we can do and celebrate these people in our lives. It just keeps you going.
Yeah, I think that's something that is so huge about running, that people who don't run kind of don't understand that. And part of the reason why I continue to run is because that is one of my favorite things when we're on vacation, that we can go run and we can you see different parts of the city that you normally wouldn't. So Jeff and I have ran in DC, we've ran in Niagara Falls, we've ran in Las Vegas. You just get to see so many. It's a different city.
We ran in Santa Monica.
Yep, ran down the
boardwalk.
Santa Monica.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's not part of a race, but it's just staying ready. Being run ready, and then you can go do that early, and you can see the cities, not the tourist parts. I mean, it is, but the tourists are all sleeping still because we go early in the morning. So it's kind of really fun.
I have a goal. I want to do a half marathon in all 50 states, because I think that it would be great to see in some the Vegas run at night, or the Roswell run where everybody dresses like an alien, whatever it is, just to run in 50 different states, because you're going to see so many different things. I went on just a half marathon run, not a race, in Vancouver. And it's to this day one of the best, the most amazing runs I'd ever done, because it was gorgeous and the temperature was amazing. And like you said, I had the trail practically to myself because I'd gotten up and done it so early. So I'm with you. I love a good runcation.
Yeah.
So think about what you just said. When we had you on our show last February or March, and I was like, Callie, when you go on a vacation to Vancouver, you're just going to go and run 13 miles.
How does that sound?
Just for fun.
You're going to walk out the door of the hotel room and go for it. I would have laughed Because I mean, I would hope I'd had a goal and I would be doing something. Would this be the something I thought I was going to do? Absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. I just didn't, like, in theory, would not have found any joy at that point in running. I didn't think I would be able to. Also think that it sounds intimidating. Like, 13 miles sounds intimidating. And once you're in it, you realize you're just in it. And you're gonna get it done. But I would have laughed. I'd be like, no, probably not.
So what's coming up here? You got a couple more marathons on the horizon.
Hold on, because I wanted to recommend one, a half marathon, and
Lincoln?
I actually think, well, that one too. Yeah, you definitely should come do the Lincoln half marathon one day to get your Nebraska.
Yes,
which is next week. So it's actually really good that we're having
drive
you on.
up here.
Yeah, well,
you're already trained.
It's next weekend.
Yeah, you're trained. Just drive up here, run it, and drive home. It's just a weekend trip.
I'm just saying. It's good because some of our listeners are going to be running in the race.
Yes, a lot of our listeners.
Ben Garver is doing his first full marathon next week. So he's
good luck. Have fun.
Yeah. So he's going to be, if he's not listening now, I'm sure he's going to listen and prep for next week. But no, the one I was going to recommend is the Run to Remember the Oklahoma City Memorial run. And we've done that one before. It's a whole half and a full. It was actually yesterday. But that's the one, if you haven't done an Oklahoma half marathon, I would highly recommend that. It's the same thing. Like in this race, for me, I was injured. I got injured at mile 5 and I had to walk the rest of the way. So, but in my memory now, it was such a great race because you get injured at mile 5. I was running so well up until that point. And then my knee, I just didn't have a great last long run, and it was a little slower than I was used to. My knee was a little iffy, and so I was just going to go out as hard as I could, and I made it mile 5, and then I could walk, so I kept walking. And I can say if it had been any other race, I might have quit. But when you're running that Run to Remember, you're running, and on the course, they have signs in memory of the people who died in the Oklahoma City bombing. Like you said, you have people wearing shirts that say that they're running in memory of their aunt Peggy that died in the Oklahoma City bombing. So it's such an inspirational race to run. So I think that was just, I want to throw that out there. Maybe that's one that you
I'm
could
going to
do
put it on my
next year
list. I'm putting it on my list.
Yeah, it's such a great one, and it's just good. I want to do that one again someday, just as a redemption. The problem is it's in April, and training for a half marathon in Nebraska in the spring is terrible. So I don't know if I want to train for it. I wish it was a little bit later, but I just want to recommend that you maybe take a look at that one for your Oklahoma half.
Definitely on the list now.
Okay, so what do you have coming up? Because good. So you have set your sights even bigger, right?
Yeah. So
beyond the London Marathon.
I think the statistic is like 1,000 or 1% of the world's population has ever like completed a marathon. So there's also this subgroup of people who've done the big 6 marathons. And so Abbott World Majors gives you, at the end of your 6th one, they give you a special medal commemorating the fact that you ran all 6. And so that's my ultimate goal, is to run all 6 of the majors. So I ran London, and then in October I'm running Chicago, and then 3 weeks later in November I'm doing New York. So I'm gonna hit those this year, and then the goal is hopefully Tokyo and Berlin next year, and then finish in Boston in 2026 as the ultimate goal. And each one I'm going to run as part of a different charity teams. So Chicago, I'm running for Alzheimer's Association, and in New York, Parkinson's Champions for Parkinson's disease, both in honor of my mother and her diagnoses. So raising money for really great causes, and just kind of, I picked the charity, because each major has its own list of approved charities that have bibs. So I'm going to pick them. And then if everything goes to plan, at the end of all 6, I'll have raised around $26,000 for charity, and run over 2,700 miles in training and 152 or 157 race miles. So that's the ultimate goal. And then I get to, like we said, I get to travel to these places and see them in ways you would never get to see them. So running through the streets of Chicago, running, up Michigan Ave, New York, all the bridges. Berlin is supposed to be like, Berlin and Chicago are flat and fast, so they're supposed to be incredible. Tokyo is supposed to be super hospitable. They basically treat you like an Olympic athlete when you show up to run the marathon. And then Boston is just, it's Boston. It's the most iconic one. And so that's where I want to end. I want to end in America. I want to end at Boston because it'll be like the hardest and the most iconic. And then my hope is that my family will be there in Boston when I get my Abbott medal.
So what's the qualifying time like for Boston? Because don't you have to qualify?
It keeps moving. So for all 6, they each have a male and female qualifying time, and you get for most of them, you get an automatic bib. You automatically get to run if you make that qualifying time. But most people don't. Most of the runners you'll see, like the 60 some odd thousand that ran London, most of them were not qualifiers. So after that, you fill out a ballot and you say, I want to be part of the lottery. And so they can, luckily, if you get lucky, they'll choose you, but it's really hard. And then the others are the other way is to go through the charity and pledge to raise a minimum, whatever the minimum is per each race for that charity. And then you get a bib to run with them. And those are getting harder and harder to do because it's, most people want them. So like, for example, for London, my minimum was 2,000 pounds to raise. As of this year, I think Boston was between 10 and 12,000. So it's like they get very competitive, even with the charity bids. But that's like I think that for most of them, for the women, it's like something crazy, like 2.5 or somewhere around there. I would be surprised if I ever got I would be definitely, I don't think we're going to get there. So I'm going to continue to run with charities. And even if I got a lottery, but I'd still run with the charities because it gives you that extra why.
I don't know how some of these runners can run that fast for 26 miles. Like sometimes when I'm out, just like flying down the trail, I just feel like I'm just Usain Bolt out there running, and I look down and my pace is like 7 minutes. And it's
or worse, you see a video. I see video of myself running, and I felt like I was flying, and then it looks like I'm like barely moving. I'm like, I swear it was fast. In my mind, it was so fast.
I think most pictures, most pictures of me. It doesn't even look like my feet are coming off the ground.
Is she walking?
You shuffle. You shuffle so badly when you run. You are a shuffler.
I try to find the cameras like, oh, here's the camera. And then
you hit your pose.
No, absolutely. All right, we're going to take our last break. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, there's a woman in London who ran her first marathon, and she was completely amateur 5 years ago at 4.5 at 4 hours at 4:35, I think. Then this year she ran it in the elite group for the first time, and she's running in 2.5. And so in 5 years, that's goals. So I would love in a few years to shave some real time off, maybe not that much, but so it's doable. Again, if you set your sights on something, it's doable.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, we're going to take our last break, and we'll come back and finish up with Callie here on 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics. Stay with us.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
School tells you all about the 4 seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's a way we really tell what time of year it is. Sports seasons: football season, baseball season, or even off season. Well, what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now, of course. And now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season, y'all. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolatseason.com. See you there.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, Cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
2024 wheat harvest is upon us, agriculture at its finest. Schemper Harvesting is a custom harvesting operation out of Holdridge that is starting to build a crew for the 2024 season that harvests crops from Texas to Montana starting May 15th. Drive trucks from field to market and operate combines and tractors pulling grain carts. Room and board is provided with a competitive wage. Take an adventure and join them for the upcoming harvest and do something others wish they would have done. Call JC at 308-999-2973 or apply online at schemperharvesting.com.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
This is Kingdom Sports Minute with Ron Brown, the radio voice of Kingdom Sports.
Clayton Castor resigned as a Michigan high school basketball coach in 2017 after he was named the best coach in his class. Castor's reason for leaving was mainly the parents. Castor said, "At the end of the day, the reason I'm resigning is because of parents. I don't want to deal with them. I really enjoy this, but parents have taken the fun and enjoyment right out of it. I don't have thick enough skin or the will to put up with it. For that amount of time, it's just not worth it." Combative parents who undermine and betray coaches are far too common in sports. So this often leads to coaches throwing in the towel. The plot to arrest Jesus by evil men during the Passion Week was the ultimate betrayal. He knew it would be his last night, but he didn't focus on his own need for comfort. Rather, he prepared his men for the next 24 hours. Jesus was an example of a strong-hearted leader who withstood the pressures around him, and that should lead us to do the same.
Visit kingdomsports.online.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite MLB teams this spring and summer, as well as Nebraska baseball. Enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early and grab your spot and settle in for an afternoon or evening of baseball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill. Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business, providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans and baked beans, to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch, as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul.
Hello? Hello? Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with yourself for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Okay, welcome back in. Final segment here with Callie. We just got a few minutes, so we'll finish up. Nicole, you had a question about? What were you going to ask her about?
No, nothing. We were just going to talk about advice.
Some advice. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have the Lincoln Half Marathon and Full Marathon coming up this Sunday. This is actually the first time Nicole and I are not doing it for a while.
Yeah.
We're actually going to have a show here, so we'll be at the studios doing a show next Sunday.
I'm not
Everybody's
sad
out running. I'm
about
not
it.
sad either. But you know what? Allie's inspiring me
No
a little
FOMO
bit.
for me. I still run. I'm on a run streak right now. I've ran at least a mile every day this year, so I'm still running. I'm just not putting pressure on it.
I've
to train.
really in my brain thought maybe I'll get out and run this week.
You're so impressionable.
I am impressionable. That's good though.
It is.
That means we have a great guest.
That's right.
That's inspiring.
Yes.
So all right. So what advice do you have
Yeah.
for anybody I know? Ben Garver's listening. Anybody out there that's getting ready to do maybe it's their first full or half. What advice do you have for those runners?
So the impractical advice, which is put your name on your shirt, because you will have people in the crowd scream your name and or yell for you. And it really can't be matched. I can't express enough how much that'll motivate you to keep going. So that's one of my impractical pieces of advice. But the other is, and what I learned in this one versus my first one, which is enjoy the moment. Like, you trust fall into your training. You've done everything you can do. You're not going to, between now and then, you're not going to change anything drastically. You're not going to be able to change the outcome. Just trust yourself. Trust that you've done it. So enjoy the run. Enjoy what's going on around you. Enjoy the other runners, the scenery, the crowd, because you want to be able to look back at it and have this really great memory. Also, if you do not have to stop running, don't stop running. Because I think that the last 5 or 6 miles, you see so many people walking. Unless you have to, don't, because once you walk, it's the kiss of death. You can't, it's so hard to find your legs again after that. So
unless
even
you've
if you
trained that way, because
Exactly.
I usually train as a run walk. But yeah, if you run and then if you run 20 miles and then you start walking,
yeah, you're done.
Oof, you're gonna be like, okay, I'll walk to this next light post and then I'll start running again. And you take literally 5 steps and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't do it.
And that's if it's your goal to run the whole thing, then don't stop if you don't have to.
Yes.
But again, regardless, 26 miles is 26 miles, however you slice and dice it. And that is insane for anybody, regardless of how you did it, what your pace was. But as someone who wants to try and run the whole thing, a total kiss of death in that last several miles, if you're like, I'm just going to walk, because it's really hard to find your legs after that. And then save a little bit, just a little bit. Even if you're walking the whole thing, save a little bit for that finish line, because the photos of you running through the finish line will be worth it. So even if you're like, there's a foot to the finish line and now I'm going to run, do that. But save a little bit in the tank for that. And then just be proud of your accomplishments, because it is such an amazing feat. It is an elite class of folks who can decide to take it on, let alone get there and do it. And like I said, 26.2 miles is a beast. I think the guy that finished London Marathon last year did it in 19 hours. And they had a huge celebration for him, because it's a tough thing to do. And I think, honestly, I train to go fast because I want to get in and out. Like, I don't want to be out there longer than I have to.
Faster you get there, you're done.
You're done. So anyone who's out there for any significant amount of time, my hat's off to you, because it is a very difficult thing to do. But like I said, just enjoy it and trust your training.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then how can people kind of follow you and follow your journey? Kind of talking about that training, your training videos and stuff like that. How can people find you to kind of follow along?
So my Instagram, which is Kickboxing Mama 78, that's a good way. I like to post videos after different training runs, or even retrospective after a lot of races. And then my Facebook, which is Callie Sapolio. Friend me. I put a lot there, especially on Facebook, about the posts about how kind of a debrief after a run or after a race. I try to race once a month with varying distance. So this month in May, I'm doing a 5K with my sons. And I'll like to do a little retrospective when they're over, like how it went, did it go to plan, what happened, what I would do different next time. So I do post a lot about my training runs and my races. And if I can like find the mistake and do the thing wrong and then everybody else learn from it, then that's even better. So you can watch my posts and watch my videos and learn from them.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Congrats on your run.
Thank
and
you.
maybe we'll have you on again after Chicago and New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I'll tell
Right.
you how I fare after 4 and 14 months.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, Callie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.